Okay, guys, good evening. This is Daya sir for you. So, welcome to this speed revision program that we have organized for all the grade 10s this year. It's a 16-week program, as you see on the board. It's going to be a comprehensive revision program from lesson 1 to lesson 32. So, you must be wondering how on earth are you going to do 32 lessons in 16 weeks. It's basically this. We need to touch the important parts of each lesson. So what is that? You need to look at the formulas, right? Then it's a matter of practicing those formulas in your day-to-day lessons. So what I have done is, now you will see on the screen, moving on. Right. So I have broken it up month-wise and week-wise. So today is August 5th. What are we going to do on the first class? We are doing a small introduction, what we are going to do in this particular program. We're going to look at perimeters and squares. There are square roots, that is term 1. You can see the term lessons are on the side. Then next week, August 12th, we are going to look at fractions and binomial expressions. August 19th, congruence of triangles and area. So each lesson has been broken up into two lessons have been put into 1 week, right? Each week you're going to get 2 lessons, and the core questions, these are going to be questions that are from past papers, model papers, right? Things that you will see in your exams, right? It's not the school textbook questions or anything like that. It's those questions that are coming in past papers, model paper questions. So it is getting you ready to face the exam in December, right? So you're going to be in December. The third term exam is going to cover everything from term 1 to term 3, stuff from grade 9s as well. So don't forget that this is a cascading effect. It's like a wave. Grade 9 stuff is also going to come into your grade 10 syllabus, right? You can't afford to forget what you have done in your earlier grades. But the majority of your lessons, your exam questions are going to come from your grade 10 syllabus. So that is what we want to do now. And most importantly, as I told you, it is the crux, or it is the heartbeat. It is the main part of your O-level exam. Why? Grade 10 is huge, 32 lessons. If you compare grade 11, it's only 25 lessons. The basics have to be very, very strong in grade 10, right? Many people struggle in grade 10 and then they find grade 11 very, very hard. So you have to, guys, you need to get into the mode, or you need to get into the habit of regular studies. If you don't get into regular studies, you're going to struggle, right? This program is going to be only done in English. We're not going to do in any other medium. Why? Because this is an English medium class. We're going to teach you in English, and I'm going to only focus on English, right? Everything will be done in English. I'm not going to bring in Sinhala. I'm not going to bring in Tamil. It's a pure English medium maths revision program. So you can see all the way up to October, September, different lessons, October, and then we finish off on the November 18th. Hopefully by that time, the exams also would have started. I think the exams are starting somewhere on the 10th of November, right? If I'm not mistaken, that's what I feel. I'm not sure, but I think it will. So we'll be somewhere in between there. So majority of the lessons, everything, I think 99% would have been done. Maybe the last lesson we might be doing during your exam time. So that's the plan. Make use of this, guys. Please focus. And I just want to say some little disciplinary things. this is an online class. I know people tend to waver. They go from, you tend to waive because there's nobody there to monitor you. But at the end of the day, your parents are the ones who are paying for this, right? So keep that in mind when you sit for an online class, that money has been put for you to sit for this class. Don't waste it. Money is very precious. Time is very precious. Time gone, you're not going to bring it back. Okay. So 2 hours, please wait right till the end. Don't leave the class because it's not going to be useful for you, because if you leave the class early, something that might be very important after you left, you're going to miss out. Secondly, recordings will be sent to you on a daily basis. Soon as the class finishes, within a day, within 24 hours or so, your recordings will be there for you to recheck in case you have missed out anything important, right? Tunes will be posted to you, couriered to you. There is a payment plan. I will talk about that a little later, so that we will tell you what to do at that point. Okay. So this is the plan. 16 weeks, your total syllabus is covered, and I think you will be quite happy when you finish this program, 4-month program. Anything that you have missed out in April, May, March, that period, first term, second term, all of that you will see, you can cover it up in a short period of time with the most important things. The unwanted stuff we're going to keep out. The important things that is needed for your exam is what we are going to discuss. Okay, so right, so let's go on to the work. We'll start with the first lesson, which is perimeter and square roots. Can you give me the PDF? Okay, perimeter. And I think your tunes are the link would have been sent to you, and the PDF also sent to you. So we're going to start with perimeter, week 1, first lesson. So what is perimeter? What does perimeter mean? Perimeter means, can be defined as the length of the outer boundary of a closed figure. Outer boundary of a closed figure. So you have a rectangle. So what is a rectangle? You have a figure like this. Rectangle. And in a rectangle, opposite sides are equal, and at the vertex you have 90-degree angles. So 90-degree angles. So opposite sides equal means we're going to say length and length, your breadth and breadth on the other two sides. So again, going back to the definition of perimeter, perimeter can be defined as the length of the outer boundary of a closed figure, the sum of all the lengths. Sum of all the lengths. So L plus B plus L plus B. You can rewrite it, simplify, put it together. L plus L is 2L plus B is 2B. So 2 lengths plus 2 breadths is the perimeter of a rectangle. Okay, I'll give you time to quickly take it down. While you're doing it, you can take it down if you want. Then square. So what is a square? Again, a closed figure. In a square, you have all sides equal. All sides equal. So all these sides are going to be the same. So I'm going to give the length of a square as A, and A. Again, perimeter means addition of all the sides. A plus A plus A, which is 4A. Okay, 4A. Then triangle. Now, triangle, guys, you know, triangle can be classified according to their sides and also can be classified according to their angles, right? Triangles classified according to their sides. Triangles which have all sides equal, we call them equilateral triangles. Triangles with two sides equal, we call them isosceles triangles. Triangles with none of the sides equal, we call them scalene triangles. Then again, as I told you, triangles can be classified according to their angles. So you have a right angle triangle where one of the angles is a 90-degree angle. Then you have a triangle with acute angles. So all the angles are acute angles. What are acute angles? Angles which are between 0 and 90 degrees. And finally, you have your third type of triangle is called a obtuse angle triangle, where one angle is going to be a obtuse angle. What is an obtuse angle? Angle between 90 and 180. So triangles can be classified like that. So therefore, it is very difficult to put something like this. So to find the perimeter of a triangle, we're just going to draw a triangle and say all sides, you're going to add up all the sides to make up the perimeter of the triangle. So A plus B plus C is your perimeter of a triangle. You got it? Finally, circle. What do we know about a circle? How do you find the perimeter of a circle? That is your circle. Right? I think it's not off your screen, I think. No? Right. I'll put it here. I'll just draw it here. So you have your circle here, and we want to find the perimeter of this. We can't say actually it's called the perimeter, we call it the circumference of a circle. So the circumference of a circle is the same as the perimeter, and we have a formula for that. What is that? 2 pi r. Now what is pi? You know, pi is equal to 22 over 7 or 3.14. So most of the time in your calculations, you'll see pi as 22 over 7. R is your radius. R is your radius. Okay. So please quickly take this down. Just jot it down as a note. You can fill it up soon as the tubes land up at your home next week. Give us a little bit of time so we can put all the tubes together and send it to you all. Right. So circle, perimeter of a circle, which is the same as the circumference. Circumference is equal to 2 pi r. Okay. That is your definition of perimeter. All right. Let's move on. So our main purpose now is to find the perimeter of a circle. So a circle, you're not going to have a circle all the time. You might have a part of a circle. Then how are you going to find the perimeter of a part of a circle? Right. So look at this. So you have a circle here. You have a circle and you have the center point B, and the straight line from the center to any part on the circle, we call it the radius. Radius is given by simple r. So there is AB is r, BC is also r. Okay. So the figure on the right is a sector of a circle. What is a sector of a circle? A part of a circle, right? So you're going to take this whole circle and take a part of it. How do you get that part? It is, you get it by drawing a radii, and you take another radius over here, and this area that is bound by the two radius, and this we call the arc of your sector. We call this the arc. So the radius, the figure on the right is a sector of a circle of radius r units, which makes an angle theta at the center. So soon as the two radii meet at the center, you're getting an angle that is created that we call the theta, the angle at the center, right? This sector is enclosed. Enclosed means closed, bounded by the arc AC. So you have the arc AC and the radii AB and BC. So this AB and BC, this part of your circle is called the sector. It is made up of two radii and your arc. Two radii and your arc, and there is an angle at the center. This is your angle at the center, right? So the angle at the center of can take any value from 0 to 360. So you know at the center, when you take one full round, it makes up 360 degrees, right? So the area or the sector area is calculated as a proportion of the total circle, right? As a proportion. So the angle at the center is a very key important part of your area. Okay, right? Right. So the angle at the center can take any value from 0 to 360 degrees. All right. That's a very simple explanation that you can have over here. So we'll move on. Now, most important, finding the arc length of a sector of a circle. So why do we need this arc length? You need this arc length in order to find the perimeter of a sector. What do we mean by perimeter of sector? This is your sector. Perimeter means the addition of all the sides. So if this is your radius, and this is your arc, you have to find this length. You have to find this length that is given here. How do you find that is the main part of this lesson, because you need to know how to find the arc length, then only you can find the perimeter of a given sector, right? So you have a figure like this given, angle at the center. So this is R, this is also R. So this part we know is called the arc of the sector, arc of sector. So I want you to write this down, arc of sector, right? Arc of sector. Right. Now, how do I calculate this arc length? How do I calculate this arc length? You use the formula theta over 360 multiplied by 2 pi r. 2 pi r. That is going to be the formula for your arc length. So please take that down. If it has been given to you already, then no problem. Okay, I think it is already given in your tute, the formula for the arc length. So theta over 360. What is the theta? The central angle. Your central angle is your theta. Right? R is your radius. You can put all of this in your tute. Just mark it. All right. Finding the arc length of a sector of a circle. What is the formula? Theta over 360 multiplied by 2 pi r. All right. Good. Now, perimeter of the sector of a circle. So now we want to find what is the sum of the outer lengths of a circle. Sum of the outer lengths of a circle. You can see there is a sector here, AOB, and this is your central angle. This is your arc length. This is your arc length. AO and OB are the radii of your sector. So the perimeter therefore is what? AO plus OB plus your arc length. Right? Arc length AB. So we can just rewrite it. AO is your radius, OB is your radius, your arc length is AOB, arc AOB. When you put this together, you have 2R plus your arc AOB. That's your perimeter. Okay, perimeter is equal to 2 radii plus your arc. All right, just fill in the blanks. These are things I think you all are very, familiar with. You should be knowing this easily. I don't think there's a difficult part in the perimeter lesson actually. Okay, so AO plus OB plus your arc length will give you the perimeter of the sector of a circle. All right. Any questions so far? Everybody's okay with that? Right. Let's go to example 1 and see what is the perimeter of the figure given here. So here, before we go that, let's go through the heading. It says perimeter of plane figures containing sectors of circles. Right. So here we are not only looking at a circle, but we are looking at a composite figure. What is a composite figure? A figure made up of 2 or more shapes. It may not be only a sector. It can include a triangle. It can include a rectangle. It can include a square, trapezium, anything. Closed figure, rectilinear plane figure. So in this particular figure, you have a composite figure containing sectors of circles. So you have a rectangle and then you have 2 sectors. So in order to find the perimeter of this, what do you have to do? You have to, opposite sides of rectangles are equal. So you know this side and this side are equal. So this side is also 14 centimeters. Then this is a sector. So then this is your central angle. They have given it to you as 40 degrees. And this is the central angle given as 50. So in order to find the perimeter, you have to find the length over here, which is your arc EF. And you also have to find the arc over here, BC. This is what? This and this are the radii of your sector. This is your central angle. Your 2 radii are here. So if one radii is 7, then this side also becomes 7. Then if this side is 7, why opposite sides of rectangle are equal? So this side is 7, this side is also 7. So then that is your radii AB. Now we have all the sides. You have to find the perimeter. So what do you need to do? You need to add. So you add AB length plus arc BC plus DC length plus radii ED plus your arc EF plus your rectangle side AF. So when you add up all of this, you get the perimeter of this rectilinear plane figure. Okay. I just want to do a small calculation. I want you to change these two figures. One says 40 degrees and one says 50 degrees. Let's just change it a little bit so that it's a little easy for you to do the calculation, right? So first what we'll do is make this 60 degrees. Make this also 60 degrees. Okay, 60 degrees, 60 degrees, right? Now, let's do a quick calculation, see what is the perimeter of this composite figure. So how do you calculate? What do you need to do? Known details, the data given here, opposite sides of your rectangle we know is 14. The radii also we know is 7. So only thing we need to calculate is your arc lengths. So you can see both the sectors, the interior central angles are same. Central angle of both these sectors are same. So it's easy. You just find one arc length and multiply it by 2. You get both the arc lengths, right? So let's calculate arc length EF, right? So I'm going to find the arc length of this. So central angle 60. So 60 over 360 into 2 into pi into your radius, which is 7 into 7. Okay, simplify. 7 and 7 will cancel out. 60 and 360 will simplify. You will get 6 here. 2 and 6 you can simplify. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So you are having your arc length of EF is 22 over 3 centimeters. Okay, 22 over 3 centimeters. Okay, now, so if this is 22 over 3, this is also going to be the same. So 22 over 3, this is also 22 over 3. Now, we just add up everything. So arc BC, arc EF, both are the same. All the other sides we can just add. So perimeter therefore is how much? Perimeter is equal to, I'm going to put the two arcs together. This arc and this arc, I'm going to write it together because to solve it's going to be easier. So 22 over 3 plus 22 over 3. Then you have this side and this side 2 radii. So 7 multiplied by 2. Or we'll show it as additions for the time being. 7 plus 7. And the two rectangular side lengths 14 plus 14. So 14 plus 14. 22 plus 22 is 44 over 3 plus 7 plus 7 is 14. 14 plus 14 is 28. Simplify 44 divided by 3 is 4 divided by 3 is 1. 14 divided by 3 is 2. Right? 14 divided by 3 is 2. So we have a small issue with 4 divided by 4, 44. Basic division, 1. 14 divided by 3 is 4. So 1 remainder. Okay. 1 remainder. Plus 14 plus 28 is 42. Put it together. 14 plus 42 is 56. 1 over 3 centimeters. That's going to be your perimeter. Okay, so please take this down, do a quick calculation. While you're copying it down, I just want to tell you something. The group link has been shared in the chat for you all. So those people who have not joined the group, you can please join it, because then only it's easy for us to communicate with you all, and you also will be able to get all the information through the group. Okay, so the group, the link has been shared with you all in the chat. Please join that if you have not done so. Right? Please quickly take this down. Guys, this should be 2, sorry, this should be 2. All right, so we'll go on. We'll go through the practice questions quickly, right? Practice questions. So these are the types of questions that you're going to face in your exams. Right? These are the types of questions that you're going to face in the exam. If the arc length of a sector given in the figure is 22 meters, find the radius. So they're asking you 22 meters already given here. Radii, radius, they're asking you to find the radius, right? The arc length already given. So how do you find the arc length formula? Arc length is equal to theta over 360 into 2 pi r. Get used to writing the formula. It really helps, because once you write the formula, it's a matter of just substituting the data into that and finding the unknown. So here the arc length of the sector given is 22 meters, right? So 22 is equal to, angle at the center is 60. So 60 over 360 multiplied by 2 pi, and your radius we don't know, so that is going to be r. Simplify. 60 and 360 we can simplify is 6. This 2 and 6 we can simplify is 3. So now, keeping r on one side, we have to take everything else to the other side, right? So keeping r on this side, so r is equal to 22 multiplied by the denominator, the values in the denominator comes to the numerator, so into 3 into 7 divided by 22, right? 22, when it comes to this side of the equal sign, it comes to the denominator. Now simplify. 22 and 22 will simplify. R is equal to 3 multiplied by 7, 21 meters. 21 meters is your answer. Okay. 2 minutes. Please take it down. Right. The payment plan for this program, it's a 4-month payment plan. Tutes will be couriered, printed and couriered to all the people who make a bulk payment. What do we mean by bulk payment is, now if you're going to pay on a monthly basis, then the fee is 2,000 rupees per month. So that is for the next 4 months. It's going to be 8,000, 2,000 per month. There, the PDF will be shared with you all. You will have to take a printout of the PDF on a weekly basis. The other option is, the other plan is where we print the PDF, put it into a nice booklet, share it with the formulas. That will be for those people who make a bulk payment. Now, if you are making a bulk payment, that means for the whole entire program, you need not pay 8,000 rupees. You will be only paying 7,000 rupees. So it's like a small incentive for people who are making the full payment. You get a 1,000 rupee discount, and the benefit is you are also getting your tutes printed and it will be couriered to your house directly. So you don't have to go through the hassle of taking a printout every week and all of that, right? So it will be printed and sent to you all, and you will get it within the next week or so. Right? So that is the payment plan. So if you want full payment is rupees 7,000 for 4 months. If you are paying on a monthly basis, monthly payment, it's going to be rupees 2,000. But there, the only difference is that you are not going to get the printed tube material. It will be sent to you on a weekly basis for the, not on a weekly basis. If you pay for the month, the whole 4 lessons for that month will be sent to you as a PDF, and you need to take a printout. Okay, but this is the only advantage, is that you don't have to go through the hassle of taking a printout every week. It's already done and everything for you, and will be sent to your home. You can take your recordings. Recordings also will be shared on a weekly basis so that you can catch up with anything that you have missed. Right? So please make maximum use of this opportunity. You can share it with your friends as well. Okay, right. Next, question number 2. Find the perimeter of the shaded part in the given figure. So you have a figure like this. They only want you to find the perimeter of the shaded part. Where is the shaded part? Over here. Over here. So that means what? You know this length already. How? This side and this side is equal. This side and this side is equal. So if this is 7, this is 7, this is 7, this is 7. So this total length we know therefore is 7 plus 7, 14. Okay. Now what we have to do, we have to find what is the arc length over here. Arc length over here, you can see the central angles are both 90 degrees. So it's easy. You just calculate for one, you get the arc length for, you just have to multiply it by 2, you get the arc length for both figures. Right. So arc length is theta over 360. I'm not going to write the formula now. 90 over 360 multiplied by 2 pi, and your radius is 7. Okay. 90 and 360 you can simplify. 360 divided by 90 is 4. This 2 and 4 you can simplify is 2. This 2 and 22 you can simplify is 11. This 7 and this 7 you can simplify. So your arc length is how much? 11 centimeters. 11 centimeters. So now what we'll do, we'll find the shaded region perimeter. So that means 11 plus 11 plus 14, right? So your perimeter therefore is 11 plus 11 plus 14. 11 plus 11 is 22. 22 plus 14 is 36. So 36 centimeters is your perimeter of the shaded region. Okay. Please take that down. Right. Third question. Third question. They are saying the following diagram illustrates the ABC right angle triangular land. ABC right angular triangular land and a semicircular land with BC as its diameter. So BC also added to this triangular piece of land, and that is BC is your diameter. This is a flower bed. So that means this part is a flower bed. There are flowers being planted in that semicircular portion. Okay. Question number 1. Using the Pythagorean theorem, find the length of AC. What is your Pythagoras theorem? Pythagoras theorem is you have a right angle triangle ABC. This side AC is your longest side. We also call it as the hypotenuse. Hypotenuse. And AB and BC are the adjacent sides. Adjacent sides AB and BC. So the theorem, Pythagoras theorem, what do they say? The longest side squared, that is AC squared, is equal to the sum of the two adjacent sides squared. So AB squared plus BC squared. Right? This is your Pythagoras theorem. Right? The longest side squared is equal to the sum of the two adjacent sides squared. You get your longest side, which is your hypotenuse. Okay. So using the Pythagorean theorem, find the length of AC. So we know AC is here. So AC squared is equal to AC squared is equal to AB squared plus BC squared. So AB squared is 21 squared plus BC squared is 28 squared. Right? 21 squared is how much? Quickly do a calculation. 21 multiplied by 21. 441. Okay. 441. plus 28 squared. So 28 squared also, please do the calculation. 28 into 28, 64, 6 carry forward. 2 into 8 is 16, plus 6 is 22, right? Then 0, 16 and 1, 5. So you have 4, 8, 7. So 784. Add it up. 441 plus 784. How much is that? 441 plus 784. 1 plus 4 is 5. 4 plus 8 is 12. 1 plus 4 is 5 plus 7, 12. Right? AC squared is equal to 1225. Then AC is going to be how much? You square root 1225. Right? Square root of 1225. All right. One moment, please. Yes, one moment, please. That went off. Can I just check? Why is this? Got minimized or something. Got minimized. Minimized. What was that? Stop. Let's continue. Okay. All right. Sorry, guys. Well, can you? All right. That's fine. Okay. Well, I need this. Otherwise, I can't mute. I don't know where that is. Okay. Right. So AC is equal to square root of 1225. How are you going to find the square root of 1225? Easiest way, we'll be doing that in the next lesson, is to use the prime factors, product of prime factors. How do you do that? Using the product of prime factors. What is the square root of 1225? You take 1225 and start dividing by the prime numbers. So you can't divide by 2. You also can't divide by 3. If you divide by 3, 12 divided by 3 is 4. 25 divided by 3, you can't. So can't do for 3 also. So then you divide by 5. 12 divided by 5 is 2. 2 remainder. 22 divided by 5 is 4. 2 remainder. 25 divided by 5 is 5. 245. Again divide by 5. 24 divided by 5 is 4. 4 remainder. 45 divided by 5 is 9. 49 you can't divide by 5. You can divide by 7. 49 divided by 7 is 7. Divide by 7, you get 1. So then put it into pairs, right? So square root 5 multiplied by 7 into 5 multiplied by 7, which is 35 multiplied by 35. So therefore, the square root of 1225 is 35 meters. So AC is equal to 35 meters. Okay. That's your answer for question number 1. Using the Pythagorean theorem, find the length of AC. Okay. So we'll write that down. We'll put the length here, 35 meters. All right. Now, going on to the next bit. If we need to build a fence around the entire flower bed, okay, we need to build a fence around the entire flower bed. What is the total length of the fence? Right, just going back to the question again, what are they saying? The following diagram illustrates ABC right angle triangular land area and a semicircular land area with BC as its diameter. This is a flower bed. So then this they are saying is a flower bed. Right? This is a flower bed. Okay. Now the question they are asking now is, what is, if you need to build a fence around the entire flower bed, what is the total length of the fence? So what is going to be the total length of this fence? Okay. So the question, we know the diameter they have already given us is 28 meters. This is 28 meters. We need to find the arc length over there. So what is the arc length? How do you calculate arc length? Arc length is theta over 360, that is 180 over 360 into 2 into pi into r. Diameter is 28, then radius is how much? 28 divided by 2, which is 14 meters. Okay, so this is going to be 14. Simplify 180 and 360 to this 2 and this 2 cancels. 7 and 14 simplified. So totally 44 meters. That is this. Okay. They're asking, if we need to build a fence around the entire flower bed, what is the total length of the fence? Now the problem is you can take it in two ways. They are saying this is a flower bed. So you can interpret it in two ways. Either you're going to say this is a flower bed or the total is a flower bed. That is a triangle plus the semicircle. Okay. So we'll just take this as the flower bed at the moment. So they are saying the semicircular part is a flower bed. If you look at the question again, go back up. It's part of a triangular area and a semicircular land area with BC as its diameter. This is a flower bed. Okay. So then they are mainly referring to the semicircular part as the flower bed. Okay. So what is going to be the perimeter of the flower bed then? They are going to put a fence right around this area. Right around this area. So therefore your perimeter therefore is 28 plus 44, which is 8 plus 4 is 12. 1 plus 2 is 3 plus 4, 7. So the perimeter is, the length of the fence is 72 meters. So you can say length of fence is 72 meters. Okay. Right. Any questions there? Right. That is your third question. Let's move on to the fourth question. Right. Find the perimeter of the shaded region ABC. Triangle ABC is an equilateral triangle. Careful. Triangle ABC is an equilateral triangle. Just give me 1 minute. Right. Find the perimeter of the shaded region. ABC is an equilateral triangle. So AB is 10 centimeters. This is 10 centimeters. And this is 10 centimeters. Okay. Careful. This part of the side AB is 7 centimeters. Therefore, AD is going to be 3. EC is also 7 centimeters. So, this is also going to be 3. Right? Careful with that. Huh? They are asking find the perimeter of the shaded region. Your shaded region is this. So, first and foremost, we have to find the arc length here. Right? We have to find the arc length given over there. Right. So, what are the details we know? We know AE is equal to AB is equal to EB because it's an equilateral triangle. AE is equal to AB is equal to EB. All sides equal data. Then also we know DE is equal to EC. DE is equal to EC, that is also 7 centimeters. That is also data. Therefore, AD is equal to CB, which is 10 minus 7, which is 3 centimeters. Right? These two sides are equal. These two lengths are equal. Right. Now, what do we need to do? We have to find the arc length DC. So, arc length DC is how much? Arc DC is central angle 60, 60 over 360 into 2 into pi into radius, which is 7. Okay. Right. Simplify. 7 and 7 cancels. 60 and 360 cancels. We have 6 here. 1, 2 and 6 will cancel. You have 3. So you have 22 over 3 centimeters over there. Okay. So what is going to be your perimeter then? So 22 over 3, if you simplify, is going to be 22 divided by 3 is 7. 1 remainder. So 7 and 1/3 centimeters. Okay. Right. Then perimeter is equal to DC we found out is 7 and 1/3 centimeters plus 3 plus 3 plus 10. By 10, the length of AB, right? The length of AB. So add it up. 10 plus 3 plus 3 is 16. 16 plus 7 is 24. 1/3 centimeters. So perimeter is 20. 16 plus 7 is 23. Sorry. 23, 1/7, 1/3 centimeters. All right. So please take that down. Careful with the workings. It's not difficult. It's not difficult. You can easily do this. Just presenting it is the most important. Carefully present it. Okay. So 23, 1/3 centimeters. You can write it as a decimal. I didn't write it as a decimal. Why? Because it's 0.3333. It just keeps going on and on. So avoid the decimal as much as possible. Okay. Okay. Lastly, last question. Okay. Guys, did I mute myself? Did anybody realize? Maybe I muted. Okay. Right. Lastly, question number 5. Question number 5. The figure depicts a pond having semicircular boundaries. A protective fence along the boundary of the pond has been planned. So this is your pond. Whole thing is your pond. It has got semicircular boundaries. One here, one here, one here, like this. Everything inside is your pond. Okay. Make this meters. So 14 meters, 35 meters. Okay. How do you find the perimeter of the pond? You have to find the arc length here, arc length, arc length, arc length, like this. So we'll start off by calculating the arc length of the large semicircle. Right? First question, arc length of large semicircle. Right? Arc length of large semicircle, that is this. Half 180 over 360 into 2 pi, and r is half of this. This is 35. So half of 35 is your radius. So 35 divided by 2. I'm going to work with a fraction because it's easier to solve. Okay, it's easier to solve. So now 180 and 360, you get 2. This 2 and this 2 will cancel out. This 7 and 35 will simplify. You get 5. This 2 and 22 you will simplify. You get 11. Okay. So 11 into 5, you are getting how much? 180 and 360 simplified is 2. This 2 and this 2 will cancel out. Okay. Okay, right. There's small technical issue. Please bear with me. Okay, right. 11 into 5 is 55 meters. Right. So this is 55 meters. This is 55 meters. So now that means you have two arc lengths. So then you find the perimeter of two large arc lengths, right? So that is how much? 2 into 55, which is 110 meters. So you have, if you add these two, you are getting 110 meters. Okay. Then now what you need to do? You need to find the arc length of the two small arc lengths. Right? So I'm going to take that separately. Arc length of small semicircles. Okay. So 180 over 360 into 2 into pi into your radius. Here 14 divided by 2, you are getting 7. So this 7 cancels. 180 and 360 cancels. 2 and 2 will cancel. So you have 22 meters. So then perimeter of two large arc lengths is how much? Perimeter of two small arc lengths is 2 into 22, which is 44 meters. Okay, 44 meters, right? Right. So then they're asking you what is the perimeter of the pond. So first question, perimeter is equal to 110 plus 44. For 55 plus 55, and this you are having 22, and this side also 22 meters. So addition of all of this is giving you the total perimeter, that is 110 plus 44, which is 154 meters. Okay. Then they are asking you in the second question, it has been estimated that the cost of constructing 1 meter of the fence is 5,000 rupees. How much will it cost to complete the whole fence? So that means to build a fence like this completely, how much is it going to cost you? So we know the total length is 154. Each meter they are calculating is 5,000. So what is going to be the total cost? Right? They are asking, it has been estimated that the cost of constructing 1 meter of fence is 5,000. How much will it cost to complete the whole fence? So the whole fence is how much? 154 meters. Each meter is 5,000 rupees. So then what is going to be your total cost? Total cost is 154 into 5,000. How much is that? 4 into 5 is 20. 5 into 5 is 25 plus 2, 27. 1 into 5 is 5 plus 2 is 7. Total cost therefore is rupees 770,000. Okay, 770,000 is going to cost you to build a fence right around the pond. Right, so please take that down, calculations. So you have to break it up. You have to break it up into two parts, the large semicircles, the small semicircles, find the perimeter. and then do the calculation. All right. I was called, no, no. The figures are not there, I think, right? So, but those figures, please take it down. Please take the figures down. It's going to be included in the tube that we are going to send out printed. Okay. Okay, guys, square roots. Go to the next part, next lesson. Square roots. What are perfect squares? For perfect square numbers, when a whole number is multiplied by the same number, a square number is obtained. Right? This is what we call perfect square numbers. Right? When a perfect square is when a whole integer is multiplied by itself, you get 1 to the power 2, which is 1 multiplied by 1. Therefore, you're getting 1. So, this is your first square number. Then 2 multiplied by 2 is 4. It's your second square number. 3 multiplied by 3, 9. Third square number. N into n, n squared. So that means what? Your nth square number. So you can find any perfect square number by using this nth formula. By using the nth formula, you can find any square number by using this nth formula. So that means if I want to find the 10th square number, what do I do? If I want to find the 10th square number, 10 squared is 10 into 10, which is my 100. So this is your 10th square number. Right? So perfect squares are easy. Why? You have your whole number, you're multiplying a whole number by itself, and you get your answer, which is your perfect square number. Which is quite easy. You can do that because you know it's multiplying a whole number by itself. But the problem starts when you don't have a perfect square number. When you don't have a perfect square number is where you will have a problem. But we'll look at that a little later. Square roots. What is a square root? Represented by the square root sign, we call it the surd. This is called the surd, which is the square root sign. That means you are getting a square number and then you're bringing it back to the original number. That's what we call the square root. So I'll explain that to you little by little. So take an example. 5 multiplied by 5. So you have 5 multiplied by 5 is 25. How are you getting that? You're multiplying 5 by itself, and 25 is your perfect square number. Now what we are doing is we want to find the square root of that. That means, where did this 25 come from? Right? How did you get this 25? So you know square root of 25 is 5 multiplied by 5. How do you get this 25? You multiplied 5 by itself 2 times. 5 into 5. Therefore, you are getting 25. Now we want to find the square root of 25. What is the square root of 25? 5. The root means where it started from. 9 is also a perfect square. Why? We know 9 is made up of 3 multiplied by 3. Therefore, the square root of 9 is 3. 64. We know is made up of 8 multiplied by 8. 8 multiplied by itself is 64. So, square root of 64 is 8. Okay. Quite easy when you're doing finding the square root of a perfect square. Okay. So, the square root of a perfect square always will be an integer. It's going to be a integer. What do we mean by integer? It's going to be a whole number. Right? The square root of a perfect square will always be a whole number. Good. Moving on. Finding the square root of a number which is not a perfect square. So now we have a problem. Let's just take an example. Square root of 9 is 3 and square root of 16 we know is 4. How do you get 9? 3. 3 multiplied by 3 you get 9. So the square root of 9 is 3. 16, 4 multiplied by 4, square root of 16 is 4. Now, therefore, the square root of a number between 9 and 16. Now we have a problem. We know square root of 9 is 3, square root of 16 is 4. Then between 9 and 16, you have numbers like 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. You have numbers between 9 and 16 which are these. So therefore, if we want to find the square root of 10, square root of 11, 12, 13, 14 and 15, it is going to be between 3 and 4. It's going to be a value between 3 and 4. Obviously, square root of 9 is 3, square root of 16 is 4. So if you want to find the square root of 10, it's going to be a decimal number. Why? It's going to be between 3 and 4. So you can see, so if I want to find one of these numbers, the square root, then I have to do something called an approximation. What do we mean by approximation? We are trying to find a value which is going to be closest to the right answer. Closest to the right answer. You don't get the exact value, you might get a value closest to that. Right, so let's take an example. We want to find the square root of 12. So, if I want to find the square root of 12, I know 3 multiplied by 3 is 9. 3.1 multiplied by 3.1 is 9.61. 3.2 multiplied by 3.2, I'm getting 10.24. Likewise, if I keep coming down, 4 multiplied by 4 is going to be 16. But now I want to find the square root of 12. So where is 12? 12 is between these two numbers. Between 11.56 and 12.25. Can you see? 12 is between 11.56 and 12.25. So 11.56 is 3.4 into 3.4. 12.25 is 3.5 into 3.5. Now, which value am I going to take for 12? Am I going to take 3.4 or am I going to take 3.5? So, what I have to do now is I have to see 12 is closer to 11.56 or 12 is closer to 12.25. Which one is the closer value? 12.12 minus 11.56. The distance is 0.44. Distance between 12.25 and 12. 12.25 and 12. The distance is 0.25. So which one is closer? 12.25 is closer to 12 than 11.56. You followed? Therefore, what we can say is approximately the square root of 12, is 3.5. A value which is going to be closest to that particular answer. So, how do we do this? You have to do the multiplication. You have to multiply two numbers and see which number is getting closer to what you want. So there's no other way to do it. So that's called the approximation method. So from the table above, we can see that 12 lies between 11.56 and 12.25. They are the squares of 3.4 and 3.5, but we will have to decide on which one is closer to 12. So which one is closer to 12? 12.25. Therefore, the square root of 12 is going to be 3.5. Okay. So I've done all that working over here. Again, just let's take another example. 78. So first and foremost, you need to see what are the two perfect squares on either side of the number. So square root of 64 is 8. Square root of 81 is 9. So 78 is between these two numbers. So 78 has to be a value between 8 and 9, a decimal number. Now, first you can just look at this. Is 78 closer to 81 or is 78 closer to 64? Here the gap is only 3. Here the gap is about 14 gap. So that means your value is going to be closer to the 9 value, right? Closer to 9. The square root of 78 is going to be closer to 9. So what do you need to do? You need to do a bit of a calculation and see. So 8.6, if you take 8.6 into 8.6, that is 36 and 3, 51. 6 into 8 is 48. 4, you have 68. So 6, 9, 13, 73.96 you are getting for 8.6. Far away. So I've done the calculation just to make it easy for you. So 8.6 into 8.6 is 73.96. I want to get closer to 78. 8.7 into 8.7 is 75.69. 8.8 into 8.8 is 77.44. 8.9 into 8.9 is 79.21. So now my 78 is between these two values, between 8.8 and 8.9. So quickly I need to do a check. I need to subtract and see which value is closest. So 78 minus 77.44. 78 minus 77.44 is 0.56. Here 79.21 minus 78, there is a difference of 1.21. So the distance from 78 to 79.21 is bigger than to 77.44. So therefore, the square root of 78, we can say this value is closest to 78. So approximately your square root of 78 is 8.8. Okay, so you have to do a bit of a calculation, approximation, and find the answer. Okay, right. Normally, so that is the approximation method. The next method, which is the division method. Division method, guys, remember, I'll just give it to you as a clue. This division method, they rarely check. I mean, I've not seen it coming in your O-level exams. Approximation, it comes in the 2-mark questions in your O-level exam. These questions where you have this division and all comes in your term exams. So you have to know this. But when it comes to your O-level papers per se, we hardly have seen any questions coming like this. Right? Because the main reason is this takes a lengthy time, a lot of time to solve. That's one of the reasons they are avoiding it for the O-level paper. But it comes in your term exam, your second term or third term exams. Yes, they do test you on this, the division method. Okay. So let's do how do we do this? Example 1, they want you to find the square root of 1296. So how do I do that? There is a step-by-step process. First one, you group it into 2 from the right-hand side. So from the right-hand side, you put it into 2's. So I'm taking the 96, taking the 12. Right? That is the first step. Then what you do is, you start to divide. Right? You're going to start to divide. So you find what is the perfect square closest to 12. So perfect square closest to 12 is 9, less than 12. Not more, but the perfect square closest to 12, less than 12. So that is 9. So 3 into 3 is 9. So 12 minus 9 is 3. Then what do? You bring the 96 down. That is the next step. So write 96 by the side of 3. Normally, when you do division, you only bring one number down. But when you're doing the division for the square root, you have to bring both the numbers down. Right? So 396. Then what is the fourth step? Fourth step is, you're going to take this 3 that you divided, take it in front in line with the 396 that you have. You have a 396 here. In line with that, you multiply the 3 by 2, you are getting 6. Okay? 3 by 2, you are getting 6. This is the rule. So you have to multiply this value by 2. So then 2 into 3 is 6. Now comes the tricky one. Then what you have to do, you find what is a numeral to be written by the side of 6. So you're going to find a value that you have to put over here. You can see I have done that. Okay. Side of 6, so that when you multiply the same numeral, you will give the value of 396, or it has to be less. So be careful. So what we are saying is, you're going to put a number here. So when you put a number here, you have to put the same number here. If you put 5 here, you have to put 5 here also. Then when you multiply these two, it has to be equal to 396 or it has to be less, right? So what value can you put here? What value can you put here which is going to be equal to 396 or less? You can see if I put a 6 here, then I have to put a 6 here. So this is through calculation. Huh? So when I put a 6 here, I have to put the 6 here also. So 66 multiplied by 6 is 396. Right? 396. Therefore, now you know this is the same as this value. You write it down here and subtract 396 minus 396 is 0. So therefore, what do we know? The square root of 1296 is 6. You got it? Right? We will do it through a question, then it's easy to remember. Okay? Right. Let's start with the practice question. So we did approximation and the division method. All right. And we did the product of prime factors in that previous question also. Right. Let's do this. Question number 2, practice questions 2. Find the value of 45 to the first approximation. So first and foremost, what do? You write down the perfect squares on either side. 45 on this side is 36 and on this side you have 49. So you know square root of 36 is 6 and square root of 49 is 7. So square root of 45 has to be between 6 and 7, right? Then next step, you see 45 is closer to 49 or to 36. We know here gap of only 4. Here a gap of about 9. So it has to be closer to 7, right? So what can it be? So you have to do a bit of a jugglery work. You need to multiply and see. So 6 into 7, 6.7 into 6.7. I'm just taking randomly. 49. 6 into 7, 42 plus 4, 46. 6 into 7, 42. 6 into 6 is 36. 0. 6 into 7 into 6 is 42. 4, 6 into 6, 36 plus 4 is 40. 9, 8, 4, 4, 44.89. So you can see I'm getting close. This is 45, 44.89. So I'm going to try 6.8 also. 6.8, 64, 6. 6 into 8, 48 plus 6 is 54. 6 into 8 is 48. 40. 4, 12, 6, 4. So 46.24. So I have 46.24. I have 44.89. I have to see which one is the closer value, right? Which one is the closest one now? 45 minus 44.89. I'm getting 0.11. 46.24 minus 45. I'm getting a difference of 1.24. So which is a long way off, no? Which is a way off figure. So then which one is the closer value? 6.7. So then your answer therefore is square root of 45 is approximately 6.7. That should be your answer for question number 1. Okay. Another one, quickly. Another one. Select the suitable value for square root of 11. So square root of 11. This side you have square root of 16. This side you have square root of 9. Perfect square 9. So 3. Again 4. 11 is closer to 9. So I will try something like 3.2. 3.2 into 3.2, that is 6. 7.24. Okay. So a little off, no? 4, 6, 6 and 6, 12, 1, 7. So better. So this is 9. This is 10.24. 10.24. I'm getting close to 11. Getting close to 11. Let's try 3.3. 9, 9, 9, 9. Again, I'm getting close to that, 10.89. So I'll have to check 3.4 also. 3.4, that is 16. This is 12. 6, 5, 11.56. So I have to see what is the difference. 11.56 minus 11 is 0.56. Then 11 minus 10.89, which is 0.11. So then this is closer, isn't it? 10.89 is closer to the 11. So therefore, square root of 11 is approximately 3.3. Okay, right? So you have to do the calculation and see. Third question. Find the value of 625 using the prime factors method. Prime factors method. So what is that? Right, divide it using the prime factors first. 625 can't divide by 2. Can you divide by 3? 6 divided by 3 is 2. 25 divided by 3 is 8. Can't. So can divide by 5. So 6 divided by 5 is 1. 12 divided by 5 is 2. 25 divided by 5 is 5. 125 can divide by 5. 25. Divide by 5 again. Divide by 5, you get 1. So square root of 625 can be written as, put it in pairs. Pairs. So 5 into 5, 5 into 5. So that is 25 multiplied by 25 will give you 625. So the square root of 625 is 25. Got it? Okay. So that is your third question. Right. We have two more questions before we go. I want to finish that before we go. Actually, the next question, find the square root of 84.43. Right, let's see. To the first decimal point. To the first decimal point. So let's follow that same rule. So you're going to write from the right hand side in pairs of 2 to the left hand side also by pairs of 2. Right, so 84.43. So divide. I'm just going to take it down like this. Perfect square closest to 84 is 81. So 9 into 9 will give you 81. So you subtract 81. 84 minus 81, 3. Okay, step by step. Perfect square closest to 84, less than that is 81. Then what do? You take the 9 and you bring this 2 down, this 43 down as a pair. Now we want to that first decimal point. So that means I will come to that. So first we'll solve this 343. Bring the 9 down. So 2 multiplied by 9 is 18. I need to put a value here, and the same value if I put here, when you multiply, is going to be equal to this or less. So what is the value if I'm going to put over there? If I put 1 here, I have to put 1 here. So 181 multiplied by 1. 181 multiplied by 1 is 181. Less than 343. But I want to get closest to that. So let's try. If I put 2 here, I have to put 2 here. So 182 multiplied by 2. If I put 2 here, then I multiply. 4, 16, 1, 364. I only have 343. So then this is the only option. I'm going to put 1 here and a 1 here. Okay. So 181 into 1 is 181 minus 2. 14 minus 8 is 6. 2 minus 1 is 1. Then I can't leave it like this because I have to find the second decimal place and then round it off. So that what do I have to do? I have to add another value. So to do that, I have to put 2 zeros. Like how 43 is here, 2 digits. I have to bring in 2 zeros. Bring this down. So now 16,200. Now take this whole value like earlier. You took 9 here first. Now you take this whole value. 2 into 91 is 182. And put a value here. Careful. 18,800 and something. Same value you have to put here. What value are you going to put? Think carefully. 2000. I'm going to round this off to 2000. 2000 multiplied by 8 is 1600. Sorry, 2000 multiplied by 8 is 16,000. So that is still less than 16,200. So let me check. 1828 into 8. 64. 2 into 8 is 16 plus 6, 22. 8 into 8, 64 plus 2, 66. 8 into 1 is 8 plus 1, 14. So 14,624. Closest, I'll have to check for 9 also. Better check for 9. 1829 into 9, 81. 2 into 8, 9 is 18, plus 8 is 26. 72 plus 2 is 74. 16. 16,461. This is less. So then I have to put 8 here. So that is going to work out to 14,624. I'm not worried about this balance. I've got this value. Now 8 is greater than 5. So therefore, the square root of 84.43 to the nearest first decimal place, I'm going to round this off, greater than 5, so add 1 to this. So 9.2 is my answer. Yeah, 9.2 is my answer for square root of 84.43. Right? Please take that down for a minute. Right, last question. Please hold on. We'll quickly finish this last question and then carry on. Right, last question. Oh, we have one more, 6 questions actually. Find the square root of 250 to the second decimal place. So again, from the right hand side in pairs of 2, so 250. Right? Perfect square closest to 2 is 1. So minus 1. 2 minus 1 is 1. Bring the 50 down. Take the 1 here. 2 multiplied by 1 is 2. If I put a number here, I have to put the same number here, and it has to be less than 150. So what is going to be the closest value to that? If I put 7 here, then 49, 4 is not going to work. Maybe 5. I put a 5 here, 5 here. 5 into 5 is 25, plus 2, 125. So then if I put 6, then how much is it going to be? 36, 156. Not going to work. So 5 is the best answer. 125 subtract 25. I want to 2 decimal points. So that means what? I have to calculate 3 places first. I have to calculate once here. Find this value. So let's do that now. 15, 2 into 15 is 30. What value am I going to put here? 2,500. 8. I think 8 should work, if I'm not mistaken. 308 into 8 is 64, 24. So 2,464. That will nicely work. So 8 here, 8 here, 2,464. 10 minus 4 is 6. 9 minus 6 is 3. I have to take to 3 decimal places. So I have to add another 2 zeros. Bring it down. Then take all these numbers. 2 multiplied by 158. How much is that? 16, 11, 316. Leave a space. What number am I going to add here, which is going to get closest to 3,600? Closest one is going to be only 1. Why? 3161 multiplied by 1 is going to be 3161, right? So 3161 subtract, this is 9439. Again, I want to take another value. Reason, because I want to find the third decimal place, then round it off and write it to the second decimal point. Okay, right. Now, 2 into 1581, how much is that? 1581 multiplied by 2, 3162. Okay. What value am I going to put which is going to closest to 43,900? Again, only 1. Because if I multiply this by 2, 31,000 by 2, I'll get 62,000. Whereas I'm only getting 43,000 here. You can stop over there. Then square root of 250 is, take to that second decimal point, less than 5. So 15.81 is your answer. Right? That's your answer for your sixth question. So you can see it's taking time. So this kind of questions will not come in your O-level exam because it's time consuming. Approximation question, yes, it will come quickly. 2-mark question in paper 1. These type of questions mainly comes in your term exams. Okay. We'll do the last question. I know it's close to 10. Just please bear with me. We'll finish it off. So the recordings, you can take it, right? So you can look at the recordings and slowly pause it and view it. Then you should be able to see this. Final question. Last question. If the length of the hypotenuse of an isosceles right angle triangle is 12 centimeters. So they are giving you an isosceles right angle triangle. What is an isosceles right angle triangle? Two sides equal. The hypotenuse is 12. Find the length of the remaining side. So they are asking you to find these two sides. We know we'll take this as A, we'll take this as A. Give the answer to 2 decimal places. Let's find that. So 12 squared Pythagoras is equal to A squared plus A squared. A squared plus A squared is equal to 12 squared. 12 squared is 144 is equal to A squared plus A squared is 2A squared. Divide by 2, divide by 2. A squared is equal to 144 divided by 2 is 72. A therefore is square root of 72. Okay. So shall we do the approximation method? Square root of 72 is, this side you are having 81 and this side you are going to have 64. Difference between these two is 8. Difference between these two is also 8. So then what can we do? We'll try to find out the midpoint. So this is 8. This is 9. Gap between these two is 8. Gap between these two is also 8. So quickly I will take 8.5. 8.5 into 8.5. 25. 2 carry forward. 42. 5 into 8 is 40. 8 into 8 is 64. Plus 4, 68. 5, 2, 12, 1, 82.25. Something wrong. Wait. 5 into 5, 42, 72.25, sorry, 72.25 is this. So I want to take quickly 8.4 also, I will check. 8.4 into 8.4, 16, 33, 32 and 3, 67, 70.56. So you can see quickly that 72.25 is the closest value. So they want you to give it to the two decimal places. So we'll just write it in one decimal place. So square root of 72 is 8.5. Actually, we should have done the division method, but we quickly took a shortcut to finish off. Okay, so 8.5. All right, good. So done first two lessons, exactly 10 o'clock. I hope everybody was attentive. If there were any shortcomings, let me know. So guys, so we'll see you. I'll see you guys next week at the same time at 8 o'clock. Please don't leave the class. Join. If you are in the group, all the details will be sent to you all. All right. So take care. God bless. And I'll see you guys next week at 8 o'clock. Bye-bye. Good night.